Wobblies, welcome to Wobbly Otter Outdoors. I'm Chris, and in this episode we are taking a look at using the Bruntmor Campfire stand with the pop-up fire pit. We purchased all the items in this video ourselves. This is not a paid promotion. In the comments of our Bruntmor Campfire stand review, Bernie DMJ1 expressed an interest in seeing that stand used with the pop-up fire pit. And Bernie's comment, the interest seemed to be mainly around deciding whether to get the Bruntmor Campfire stand or a tripod to use with something like a pop-up fire pit. So what we're going to do in this video is cook bread in a 12-inch Dutch oven hung from the Bruntmor Campfire stand over the pop-up fire pit. In the interest of time, because it's been so hot and humid in our area, we are using lump charcoal instead of building a regular campfire and letting it burn down to coals. So in addressing the talking points in Bernie's comment, the Bruntmor Campfire stand, it has a grill grate that is 11 inches by 16 inches, which isn't huge and lets it work really well if you're cooking some over a grate and hanging something like a pot or pan from one of the hooks over the fire. So it gives you a lot of versatility that you can use the stand for more than one thing at a time. The advantages of the pop-up fire pit: it protects the ground. It's up off the ground. It has the ash catch. It has the wire mesh that you actually build the fire on that keeps the coals from ever touching the ground. It gets it up off the ground, which makes it easier to use. The pop-up fire pit also has two grates available, one that covers the entire surface area, which is the 24 inches by 24 inches, and another that has just 3 panels and doesn't completely cover the top, so that you can still have access to the fire while having the grate completely opened. While cooking the bread and checking it and seeing how things were working, I fully expected the ending of this video to be more of a what not to do, what wouldn't work, because when you have the coals that are underneath the Dutch oven on the pop-up fire pit, the air that is allowed to come up through the fire mesh burns the coals and the wood more quickly and more completely. And that's good when you're trying to have a hot, fast fire. For Dutch oven cooking, you usually have the coals on the ground, possibly even in a bit of a hole, and the coals will last longer. That's one thing that happened in this case. The coals burned up relatively quick on the pop-up fire pit. My concern was that the bread wasn't even going to be cooked. The coals that were on top of the lid of the Dutch oven burned as usual, nice, steady, didn't burn overly quickly. The bread was not supposed to be the focus of this video. However, this is the best bread I have ever made. Now, I haven't made bread a whole lot, and especially not in a Dutch oven. My first experience in cooking bread in a Dutch oven, I really burned the bottom bad. Like, you had to cut it off for sure. But the rest of it was good. With this bread, oh my gosh, the top and the majority of the bread was cooked nice and evenly throughout. It had a nice airiness to it while still having body. The bottom I burned just ever so slightly as far as burned look. It did have a good bit of crust on the bottom, relatively thick, probably a 1/16 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch, especially in the center of the bottom. But the bread was fantastic. We'll provide the bread recipe down in the description below. It is a no-knead yeast bread, and it is amazing. So coming back around to Bernie's comment, I can highly recommend the Bruntmor Campfire stand. We use it and we like it. As far as the campfire tripod goes, they're nice and compact and super easy to use. They aren't as versatile as the Bruntmor Campfire stand. The pop-up fire pit gives you a much larger cooking grill surface area than the Bruntmor Campfire stand. So it works great in that respect. Plus, as mentioned, it protects the ground super well. And we didn't try this, but you could probably set the Dutch oven on top of the pop-up fire pit grill. I'm not sure how well that grate would support it. You could try. All in all, I think the campfire stand worked great in combination with a pop-up fire pit. Down in the description, we'll put links to all the products as well as links to our review videos of the pop-up fire pit and the Bruntmor Campfire stand. Down in the comments, let us know what you think. We often get ideas for our videos from you. Thanks for watching, Wobbly Otter. We love you and hope all your tomorrows are bright. Until next time.